Hi my girly cakes, and welcome back to another video. In this video we are talking about girly inspirational movies that you should watch. Now I feel like everyone has those days where they're just you know what I'm talking about, like you can't get out of bed, you can't do anything, you're just down and out. These are the girly movies that you should watch when you need that uplift, when you need that inspiration. Grab your blanket, grab your cup of tea, and hit play. I definitely want to clarify is one, a girly movie does not always mean a rom-com. I know like rom-coms are huge, they're popular, we love them, all that stuff, but that does not mean that it's automatically a girly movie. To me, a girly movie is often a coming of age story where a girly goes through an insurmountable journey, but at the end of it, she has overcome all her challenges and all her difficulties. And the viewers, you and I, feel super inspired and super empowered. That, to me, is a girly movie. With that being said, I want to make a second disclaimer is that most of these movies are from the early 2000s and it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, the movie scene has completely changed, so we don't really get that many girly movies like we used to, but this is still a solid list for when you need that inspiration. And then last disclaimer, these are only 8 of my favorite girly movies. Of course, there's way more. There's probably some that you love as well, but these are the 8 that I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I love these. They give me the inspiration that I need. Most of this is me reading from my iPad, my mini script, so don't get distracted, just lean into it. First one is Legally Blonde. Elle Woods is a fashionable and bubbly sorority president who embarks on a journey to Harvard Law School to win back her ex-boyfriend, Warner. While her journey is initially fueled by love, it evolves into a journey of empowerment. She is faced with constant doubt and ridicule, but she refuses to conform to others' narrow expectations. Her unique perspective, intelligence, and kindness ultimately prove invaluable during her journey to become a lawyer. Elle also demonstrates that femininity and strength are not mutually exclusive, crushing the stereotype that beauty and brains cannot coexist. Through hard work, determination, and staying true to herself, Elle not only excels in law school, but also earns the respect of her peers and professors. Her journey reminds us that our greatest power lies in embracing who we are, and that success does not require sacrificing our authenticity. So for me, the lesson from Legally Blonde is that this story is so inspiring because it really shows you that you can be girly. You can be cutesy, you can be obsessed with pink, while also being highly intelligent and intuitive. So you don't have to shrink yourself, change yourself, or stifle in order to grow. I studied mechanical engineering and it was very similar to Elle's experience in law school. I was surrounded by mostly male men and I was often the only female in a lot of my classes. So I dealt with a lot of ridicule and doubt, not only from professors, but also from classmates. So I was constantly made out to be dumb and not capable, even though I was very capable. Legally Blonde was before my time, but seeing that movie and seeing Elle excel definitely gave me the knowledge that, you know what, I can definitely do this. I am more than capable of doing this. And I can be extremely girly while doing it because that's just who I am. The Devil Wears Prada. Andy Sachs is a driven yet unassuming journalist who lands a coveted assistant role at the prestigious fashion magazine under the formidable editor-in-chief, Miranda Priestley. Initially overwhelmed by the high stakes and the cutthroat world of fashion, Andy rises to the challenge, proving her resilience, adaptability, and work ethic. She transforms herself, learning to navigate the demanding industry with confidence and finesse. However, as Andy climbs the ladder, she begins to grapple with the personal sacrifices and ethical compromises that come with success. The turning point comes when Andy realizes that staying true to herself is more important than fitting into a world that doesn't align with her values. Spoiler alert! By walking away from the job that once seemed like a dream, she reclaims her identity and pursues her passions on her own terms. This movie serves as a reminder that success isn't defined by external validation, but by living authentically and prioritizing what truly matters. The lesson for me from Devil Wears Prada is it's an empowering story of self-discovery and the courage of forging your own path. Now, before diving into content creation, I actually had a beauty subscription box. I had a full business that I was very involved and very dedicated with. And I mean like waking up at 6 a.m. and working all the way till like 2 a.m. the next day. I was very dedicated. But the sacrifice of that meant I didn't really have time for myself. And while my business did give me some high level of validation, I realized I was losing so much of myself to this business that I had to set it down because that wasn't actually helping my state of mind. So sometimes it is okay to give up something great, especially when you are losing yourself. Homecoming, a film by Beyonce. It documents Beyonce's historic 2018 Coachella performance, the first headline set by a Black woman, while celebrating the richness of Black culture and the legacy of historically Black colleges and universities, also known as HBCUs. The film is more than a concert documentary. It is a testament to Beyonce's unparalleled work ethic and vision. Balancing motherhood, artistic expression, and physical challenges, she exemplifies the power of determination and focus. Every element of the performance, from the choreography to the live band and costumes, is infused with the intention and a deep respect of Black heritage. Beyonce's journey reminds us that greatness is achieved through grit, collaboration, and staying true to one's culture and purpose. A lesson for me from Homecoming is that it takes consistency and dedication and practice to achieve big dreams. I love how this movie is just embracing of her heritage and her roots and the pursuit of excellence unapologetically. That movie is like perfect. There's nothing, no changes, no rewrites. There's nothing to change in her story. For me, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, I always have this big vision, and sometimes I get lost in the bigness of the vision. I get lost in like how I want to execute it. So sometimes I lack discipline, sometimes I lack consistency, sometimes I get distracted. There's a whole lot of things that happen that kind of stop me from executing the vision. But seeing something like this, seeing something like Homecoming was so inspiring because Beyonce is an artist. She's able to grapple her vision and stay dedicated and stay disciplined in order to create this beautiful performance. Now, I'm no Beyonce, but it is the great reminder that I can accomplish my big dreams with consistency and dedication. And also in the movie, she talks about 45 minutes into the movie, she talks about how she just had twins less than a year before that performance. And I don't know about you, but I literally have chills when I think about it. Like, I'm not a mom, I've never been a mom, but the fact that she was able to say, you know what, I just had kids, but I'm so dedicated to my craft and my vision that I'm going to put it all into this performance. So inspiring. I love it. Hi, I'm Mimi Lolu, the quintessential girly girl, and I create girly inspired videos to help you be your very best self. Or don't forget to subscribe. The Barbie Movie. Set in the world of Barbie land, the movie follows Barbie as she begins to experience doubts and imperfections in a seemingly perfect world. Her journey takes her to the real world, where she discovers the complexities of human emotions, societal expectations, and the power of choice. Throughout her adventure, Barbie learns that the true strength lies in embracing her imperfections and charting her own path rather than conforming to prescribed rules. The film challenges outdated stereotypes and celebrates the diversity of womanhood, showing that there is no one way to be Barbie or to live a fulfilling life. So for me, the lesson with Barbie is that it really encourages us to rethink the labels of being a woman. I loved the Barbie movie because it really told the story that there isn't one way to be a woman. Just like that, I believe that there isn't one way to be girly. I have always defined girly girl as you are your own girl's girl. So you are your own cheerleader, your own supporter, your own uplifter. You are the best version of you for you. And that's a lot of what I took from Barbie. It's like, you don't have to be whatever the world wants you to be because that's the title and that's the name that they've given you. You get to decide the type of woman that you want to be. You get to decide the type of girly that you want to be. Mean Girls. The story follows Katie Heron, a teenager who transitions from a sheltered homeschooled life to a cutthroat social hierarchy of suburban high school. Initially drawn into the glamorous yet toxic world of the plastics, Katie learns the consequences of losing herself to fit in with the wrong crowd. Through a journey of mistakes and growth, she discovers the importance of individuality and kindness. She realizes that true confidence does not come from tearing others down, but from lifting them up. So by the end of the film, she helps dismantle the divisive cliques, fostering a more inclusive and supportive school environment. This movie showcases a powerful message about breaking free from peer pressure, choosing authenticity over superficiality, and fostering supportive relationships. The lesson for me from Mean Girls is that it really inspires us to challenge harmful norms and to embrace our true selves and recognize that real strength comes from empowering and not competing. So I feel like a lot of girls probably have a very similar experience. Maybe yours is like mine in high school. I had a group of friends that were like mean, nice friends, mean girls. I did not realize how much their meanness was actually affecting me. It normalized being mean. And when you surround yourself with groups of people who aren't right for you, you end up losing yourself. You end up getting lost in the sauce, I guess they'd say. We've all heard of hive mentality. So you end up getting lost in what the group is doing or what the group is thinking, what the group wants. And that is not staying true to yourself. That is not what you really, really want out of life. And the wrong influence will lead you down the wrong path. Ella Enchanted. The movie follows Ella Afrell, a young woman cursed with the gift of obedience, which forces her to comply with any command given to her. Despite this constraint, Ella's wit, bravery, and determination drive her to reclaim her independence. On her journey to break the curse, Ella confronts societal injustices, stands up to oppressors, and discovers her inner strength. Along the way, she forges her own path, proving that true power comes from self-belief and the courage to fight for what's right. This is an empowering and magical story about breaking free from control, finding your voice, and taking charge of your own destiny. The lesson for me for Ella Enchanted is that it really showcases an empowering and inspiring message about resilience and the importance of challenging oppressive systems. It really encourages us to stand up against unfair expectations and to write our own stories no matter the odds. I watched this movie when I was so much more younger, and I just remember like light bulb moment, because I was one of those girls who just did everything everyone wanted me to do. I was horrid is kind of a dramatic word, but I was intensely obedient, and I remember relating so much to Ella because I just wanted to be a nice, good, happy, friendly girl. What no one tells you is when you're doing what everyone else says, you are creating a weak mind for yourself. You don't know what's right, you don't know what's wrong, you don't know what's good for you, you don't know what's bad for you. You're just doing what people are saying because you think you're supposed to. But seeing Ella's story was so inspiring because she refused to let the wickedness around her and the horridness around her infiltrate the mission and the goodness that she was supposed to do. Although she was very, very obedient, she was so good at speaking up for herself. She was so good at using her voice. And that is a really big lesson, because sometimes the only thing that you can do is use your voice. The only thing that you can do is stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. And that was one of the lessons that I had to learn at a very young age, and watching this movie definitely kind of lit that light bulb. Marie Antoinette. Now, while the historical figure of Marie Antoinette can be controversial depending on who you ask, this is a movie. This film reimagines the life of Marie Antoinette, the teenage Austrian princess who becomes the Queen of France. This movie portrays her not as a historical caricature, but as a deeply human and relatable young woman. Set against the opulent backdrop of Versailles, the movie delves into Marie's struggle to balance her personal desires with the crushing weight of royal duty and societal judgment. Isolated and misunderstood, she initially turns to indulgence and extravagance to cope with her constraints. However, as the story progresses, her vulnerability and longing for authenticity shines through, making her more than just a symbol of excess. This movie is visually stunning and unconventional in exploration of identity, freedom, and the pressures of expectations. The lessons for me from Marie Antoinette is that it empowers us to reflect on individuality and the consequences of living under societal expectations. It serves as a poignant reminder of complexities of womanhood and the timeless pursuits of personal freedom in a world that demands conformity. In any female role, I feel like there's so many labels and expectations, like as a mother, as a wife, as an employee, as a student, whatever it is, there's always this expectation that we are required to step into and fulfill. The thing about this movie is that I love that she never let her role really make her lose herself. So obviously, as the Queen of France, expectations were very much set for her. She was supposed to bring an heir into the world. She was supposed to, you know, be a symbol of hope and goodness and wealth and all these things. But she didn't let that take away from the life that she was living. I feel like sometimes maybe as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, there are all these predefined rules that we are put into, and then we're expected to make it, that is who we are. That is our label. That's what we're supposed to be. But I don't always believe that that is the only thing you can be. Do not let predefined rules take you away from the life that you're supposed to be living. You can still be who you are, even with those rules. The last one is definitely one of my favorites. This is a very old movie. It is the oldest movie on the list, Cinderella. Starring Brandy as Cinderella, a young woman forced to be the handmaid for her stepmother and stepsisters who were undeniably cruel to her. She dreams of a life where she is surrounded by people who love and care for her. Now, although her environment does not match her dreams, Cinderella does not lose her spark for life. She spends a lot of time singing and playing with animals and finding joy in the mundanity of her everyday life. Landing a wish from the help of her fairy godmother, she's able to attend the princess ball and meet her true love. Cinderella's story is not only about finding love, but is also about discovering her own strength. Despite facing cruelty and oppression, she maintains her kindness and hope, proving that resilience can triumph over adversity. Her fairy godmother inspires her to believe in her own worth, and Cinderella takes charge of her destiny, embracing opportunities that align with her dreams. The movie's groundbreaking diverse cast and empowering message redefines the traditional fairy tale narrative where the prince saves the girl. Cinderella saves herself by remaining connected to the good in her, which allows her to connect with the good in the prince. For me, the lesson from Cinderella is that it really inspires us to dream boldly, to stay true to ourselves, and to never underestimate the power of self-belief. I think we all have gone through super tough times where things just don't look the way we want them to look. The message and the important thing is to stay connected to the joy and the good in you, because if you don't lose that, you can make it through all the hard times. Of course, I have to say I definitely love the romance aspect. This version is so beautifully sweet and the songs are so magical that it is a comfort watch for me, for sure. Whew, okay. Whether you watch all the movies on this list or you don't, I hope you're feeling just a little bit more inspired. And please go ahead and share your most inspiring girly movies. I would love to watch them. Or tell me if you think any of these lists are on your #1 spot. But that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, my girly cakes.